Okay guys, I'm back for number 3 with the Menards covered hoppers. So what I did is I removed all the trucks. I don't know if you can see in there. And I removed the small, and I mean little, screw. I wish I had one now to show you. I think I showed you in my other video, but I threw them away. They were so substandard to mount trucks. So what I did is I used screws like this. They were too long, and I found that out the hard way, but these are the only screws that I had, so I went ahead and continued to use them, and I'll show you why in a minute. But anyway, so I removed the old screws, and I just put these in, tightened them up to the point where the trucks wouldn't even move. So I had to back them off a little bit until they would move around the curves. And then what I did too, because I was having trouble with the actual coupler meeting the other couplers, I took this and actually, you can probably see it, it's bent a little. I torqued it up. So I bent it, I held it here because you'll snap it if you don't. I supported it, and then I bent the coupler up. So then all the couplers met, and they didn't come apart. So that's what I did with that. So I replaced the screws in the bottom of the couplers. Problem is, if you use too long of screws, you get this. So I drove the screw completely up through, and obviously the screw hole underneath for the coupler is not within the container itself. You can see where it is. So now I have these hideous screws that are coming up. I can paint them, but I'm not going to back these things back out. Or I could use like a Dremel tool if I had one, and I could go in and cut those off so they weren't sticking up. But honestly, when you're running the thing, you don't see them. So if you are going to replace your screws, maybe a shorter screw. But honestly, I used some pretty robust screws because I didn't want these couplers or these the trucks coming out or falling off. So I overkilled it with, compared to what the screws were that they used before. It was ridiculous, honestly. They shortcut things so much, but I still love the hoppers. That's the thing. I still love the hoppers. The other thing is too, is when you put these big screws in right here, sometimes the pressure of the screw here hitting the sidewall of your hopper, it basically backs this plate out right here. And these are very short screws here that hold it into the frame as well. So what I've had to do is on some of them, when this whole plate came off, I used glue. And the glue that I used was the Gorilla Glue Super Glue Gel XL, which I've had good luck with this. It doesn't run everywhere, it's gel. So far, so good. I ran it a few times, but at the point where I finally got all these done, I was pretty frustrated that I even had to do this. But it was really beating the whole idea of having to buy new trucks and couplers and replace them, because it just wouldn't be monetarily worth it. So that was my upgrade. Screws, more robust, bigger threads to go into that plastic and hold the trucks in place. So now we will see over time how this works. But that was my fix. Remember, again, I had to bend these up a little bit. I actually held the shaft there and then bent the shaft so they were up a little bit so they would all meet and not override or overlap each other. So there you go. and we will see if that works out in the long run. Take care, guys.